All right. Hi, everybody. This is Professor Nick, and I am making this video as a response to a request that Dawnette sent me that I think was really on behalf of all of you. She asked me to make a feedback video to go kind of give you guys some progress updates on the Rogerian rhetoric and racist format that we've been working on. Um, I know that the last video I made was really, it sounds like it was pretty helpful and clarifying. And so hopefully this one can be equally helpful and clarifying. I'm going to be very specific. I think I've responded to a lot of the homework I've assigned, except for the mini paper. And I'm going to do that today. So we'll go over the mini paper feedback at a later time. I'll probably make another video. But in this one, I just wanted to go over the weekly journal 7, where it's kind of your practice on the Rogerian rhetoric. And I've already graded them and just was absolutely floored by the quality of work that you produced. Um, I'm not I am not just saying this to puff anyone up, but all of you created such a great like 2 paragraphs in this that it shows me that you really have a grasp over this method of writing, and that you are able to take this tool and put it in your writing tool belt. Um, let's get into the specifics. I think you'll see more what I mean once we start. I'm gonna actually go look at each of your writing. You've all read each other's writing, and then I've given some feedback on it. But let's just kind of look at some things. So. Um, Again, I think all of these are so high level. Um, Susan, let's kind of start with yours. You wrote some big paragraphs, and that is awesome. I mean, quantity does not always mean quality, but in the case of your paragraphs, it really does. Um, you are not too repetitive, you are not too wordy, you are giving a ton of information here. You start with a great, R in the races of there are different structures of writing. Let's look at one advantage to the Rogerian rhetoric style. You're getting that summary sentence, that R of respond to the question out of the way, and then you're answering the question in the next sentence. One advantage of the Rogerian rhetoric is its subject from ancient Greece called rhetoric, relates to how people speak as well as how they write. Okay, you go into the history here, and you're going to go into the prohymnasmata, you're going to go into the 7-point structure that Aristotle taught, and then you get into the psychology that Carl Rogers developed and how that turned into a writing format. I really like that. I really like how you built this paragraph. It's kind of a historical overview of Rogerian rhetoric, and this is your strongest sentence right here. Again, you might have one little typo here, but I really don't care about that. I think Rogerian rhetoric is a good way to write because it relates to how people write as well as how they speak. Okay. Yeah, that's the goal here. A lot of times we don't speak in a 5-paragraph essay, but hopefully we are speaking from a position of multiple perspectives. Good writing should question an issue from multiple perspectives. Yeah. Then you get into the disadvantage. And this is true. This is 100% true. Writers must actually take the time to prepare and research many sides of an argument before making a decision, which requires evaluation and critical thinking, not just snap judgments. Yes, that's it. That's the whole goal of this paper. That's the whole goal of this writing format. That's the whole goal of Rogerian counseling. That is the goal of all of this that we're talking about. Taking the time to really think about another person's perspective before you come to your judgment. So yes, you found that perfectly. Really, really nicely done. I think the one area that you could probably improve, Susan, is just having direct quotes. You have citations here because you did do the reading and you did take information from the article and use it in these paragraphs. That's obvious. I'm not questioning that at all. It just sometimes is nice to have those direct quotes planted in, as we'll see in some of the other students' work. It's just a nice way of showing I've done my reading, but not only that, I'm able to take it and transfer that information to my writing using direct quotes. The reason I say that that might be something you do is I'm not sure what your all this is, goes for all of you. I'm not sure what your goals are. But when I'm reading this type of writing from you guys and it's at such a high level, I'm thinking, man, if they want to get a master's degree, they could get a master's degree, and you'd have to learn how to use direct quotes really well for that higher level academic writing. So that was one of my thoughts, is just, wow, this writing's so good, the sky's the limit. I'm going to be a little bit pickier because things like direct quotes are really important in like a master's program, if that's the route you decide to go. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, next we got Holly's, and Holly's is a little shorter than Susan's, and that's just fine. Holly does a really, really good job of sticking to that races format. I can see every sentence aligning perfectly. RACES. Here's the R, the restatement. There are numerous advantages of the Rogerian rhetoric method of structured writing. That's an R. There's not an answer there. It's just easing us into the paragraph. Then the A, the answer. One of the major advantages is suspending the thesis till the end of the paper versus the 5-paragraph method that states the thesis multiple times. There's the A. Then we get the C. Speaking of the formally standard 5-paragraph essay, Sarah Allen writes, students tell me that they are building on the formula of the thesis-driven 5-paragraph essay by learning how to better explain in an argument why they believe what they believe and thus why others should believe the same. Frankly, it's a weird process. It is based on a series of assumptions that make very little sense in real time when tested amongst real people. Great use of a direct quote, Holly. That is awesome. Then you explain it a bit, and then you conclude. This is perfect races paragraphing. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. You do the same down here as well. It's a little shorter paragraph, which is not a problem. You introduce, you answer, you quote, you explain, you conclude. It's beautiful, Holly. Beautiful, beautiful. Just this paragraphing is so good. I want you to take this paragraphing skill and I want you to use it in the final paper and in future writing assignments. As far as the feedback I could give you, Holly, one thing that might be useful for you is, now that you understand the format RACES so well, you can begin to bend it just a little bit. Rather than doing RACES, sometimes you just do ACES. You kind of skip that restatement. Sometimes your E's, the explanation, are 3 to 5 sentences, not just 1 or 2. Sometimes your C is plopped in the middle of those 3 to 5 E's. So again, I'm not ever trying to be so rigid that you don't have the creative freedom to rearrange RACES. So you've got a mastery of it. You've got it down. Now feel free to bend the rules a bit. Okay, next. All right. Danette, so these are your paragraphs. They're really good. They're all really good. I'm going to say that about every single one of them. One of the things that you did so well is you were really looking at the fact that bias becomes such an issue in writing. And I mean, this is what I did all of my graduate work on, was bias in writing. And you're given a paper topic to write in writing class, and most people instantaneously, the thing that they go and do is go, this is what I'm going to write about, and this is how I'm going to get it done. And I just love that, really, you are bringing out the fact that that's a bias, and that it's only going to lead to one side. So let's look at a few spots here. There are a couple real advantages of writing in the Rogerian rhetoric style. We're going to explore it in this paper. In the mid-1900s, you're doing the history part here. You're explaining where this writing style came from. The role of the counselor was not to diagnose and speak, but to answer questions that help the patient determine his or her own diagnoses. Yes, that is the goal of that. And then it gets turned into writing that one of the advantages of Rogerian rhetoric is that the writer must take time to research and consider multiple sides before making a decision. Yes, that's the advantage. It's also the disadvantage because it's timely. It takes more time to do that. And suspending that opinion till the end is sometimes difficult. Bias is a major issue. And then you get your quote here at the end. So it's not a perfect RACES. You kind of went RAEEECS. I like it. I'm fine with that. I think that's a great restructuring of the paragraph template in order to say something how you want to say it. Very formal, really nicely done. You get to the disadvantage size, and yeah, it relies on compromise. It relies on reconciliation. So this is a big time thing here, especially if you're looking at an issue that is too close to home. You almost can't use the Rogerian writing style because your passion for something might get in the way. So, yeah, it requires you to be very, very neutral and suspend your bias as much as possible. So that is the disadvantage. As far as your writing format goes, you did a great job. Once again, you kind of did RAECS and kind of flipped the order, and I'm totally fine with that. It's always a good idea to kind of change those paragraphs just a bit here and a bit there to avoid being repetitious. But nicely done. Okay. All right. And Carrie. So this, I'm just gonna say it, and I hope you don't mind me saying this right now to everybody. But Carrie, this is your best piece of writing so far. This discussion post is so good. It's so well done, and I know one of the things that you've been working on is wordiness and kind of rambling at times. And boy, you must have really thought about this assignment. You must have really done a lot of thinking and maybe even editing because it's just very, very nicely done. You're following this RACES format, I can tell. There are many advantages. That's an R. Then you answer it. One of the many advantages is empathized listening. That's absolutely. You go through the history. You say that this approach of writing follows Rogers' method of listening. Good writing followed the Carl Rogers principles for counseling. You're getting your quotes in there right here. It's awesome. Um, Writers must take the time to research and consider multiple sides. This leads to learning and requires evaluation and critical thinking. The Rogerian approach reduces the amount of bias in the counselor's role. Bias mitigated by beginning from a neutral point of view. Yes, so good. Carrie, so good. Well done. I think you could probably take these commas and make them periods and then just make these new sentences. But really, I'm not that worried about the grammar here. I just love what you are saying and the way you are saying it. Same with the disadvantage size. You use quotes so well. Really nicely done. And I think, let me just see. Tammy might not have gotten hers in quite yet. So that might just be the 4 that we've got. I just want to make sure. Yeah, that's all we've got for now. I hope this video is helpful. I'm not trying to compare any of you to each other. I'm not trying to say that any of you won this assignment, but I just want to give you all a huge congratulations because what you're showing me in this assignment is that you understand how to create a paragraph really, really well that uses evidence and explains a point. And then you're also able to use the Rogerian rhetoric style, which is I'm going to look at this side and then I'm going to look at this side and then I'll say what I think at the end. And you're ready for your final papers. I'll grade the mini papers today so that you can know additional feedback on those, but you're ready for your final papers. And of course, that's the subject of this week, July 18 through 24. Um, a lot of you have already selected topics. We've got articles here. If you need another, if say you just have something you really, really want to do your paper on and you need me to grab you articles, please just let me know. I'm just so impressed with all of you, and I'm really thrilled to see what the next few weeks are going to bring as we go to that final paper stage. All right, everyone. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll do my best to be timely as always with feedback, and I hope this was a useful video.